a little oil. It makes all the difference. And remember to pull back, and you're pulling back your filling until you get it controlled. You want to always remember you're in control of this. This is not in control of you. So when you find that you just aren't getting it, then start all over again. If the worst thing should happen is your tortilla breaks, that's why you have so many. And you've already oiled them, so you have them right here. If one breaks, no big deal. Trust me, this is only food, and it's nothing to get frustrated over. It's nothing to get angry about. Just start all over again. Okay, so we've got the 4, and I'm going to make one more. This I'm going to use up the rest of the dip. Yogurt, cucumber, dill. I'm going to use the lettuce, baby greens. I'm going to use a little bit of that arugula. That's a pretty fancy name for some lettuce, isn't it? Now I want to use everything that I've got left over that I didn't already use one of. And, well, how do you know which one is just the actual vegan? Always make certain that either you separate it by placement or either you put something on it so you'll know that this one is the vegan that doesn't have any. So I'm just going to plop a little red lettuce on top, and that will tell me it's the only one that has lettuce on top, but it will also tell me that it's the vegan and it doesn't have any dairy. Because we really want to accommodate everyone that comes to our festivities. But you also want to remember, if you're being invited to someone's home and you know you have some dietary issues, why don't you bring the appetizers, the entree, or the dessert that you can eat? Then that way you're happy, your body is protected, and everyone else around can learn what it is that you're eating and understand your dietary instead of the negative way of speaking how and what and why you eat or why you don't eat something. There's still plenty of us that eat pork. There's still plenty of us that eat meat. But because you've made the choice not to, don't go to an event, go to an outing, and then talk negative about those that's not doing what you're doing. Because somewhere in there, they're still enjoying their food. And you should be enjoying your food, but you're not really just at the gathering for food. You're there to be able to associate and to be able to talk to the people that's around and koinonia with them, fellowship with them. It's not about all that goes in that defiles a man, but it's what comes out. So just remember, what are you putting in, or either what are you letting out, okay? Now what we're going to do is take chicken strips. Again, you want to make certain that you can, sometimes I get to preaching, but the word says, feed my sheep. If you love me, sugar, feed my sheep. So yes, I'll feed you with the word for your natural man. I'll feed you with food for your physical man. But your spirit man needs to be fed as well. Because when you're fed and you're full of the spirit and you know that your divine health is important, then you will change the way you think. And then you'll change the way you eat. And then your body will change the way that it is. Amen? So now remember, you're pulling back all of the filling. And like I said, if it should break, it's okay. Get another one. It's okay if it breaks, throw it away. And I don't throw away anything, right? So this is the chicken. Okay, so now this is ready to go into the oven. And just remember, it's only going in the oven long enough for the cheese to melt. And by the time you clean up your area and you get everything situated, that it will be time for these to be cut. Remember, why is the lettuce on the top of this one? Because it's the vegan. This one is the vegetarian. And so you've got to remember that if you're going to accommodate all of your guests, that you have something there for all of them. So I'll be right back, and we're going to plate this up and have a fabulous time with these appetizers. I'll be right back. Cooking with Sugar. All right, we're back with these wonderful wraps. Whoop, it's a little hot. All righty. And remember, these are appetizers, or they could be something that's used for lunch. And what I'm doing is just cutting off the tip so I can get a good cut. Sometimes it takes a minute to get a real good cut, and then we just are placing it on some lettuce. So you can hold it. I'm left-handed, so I had to turn things around for myself. And then you can set them up on top of upright position. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is great. Looking real good. So what I'm going to do is just cut the back part of this one off. All right. Let me see how that tastes. Good. Very good. Cheese is melted. You cut this little tip part off. Pulled chicken with rosemary and basil. Now these were the small tortillas, so you can get the, oh, I guess it would be 12-inch, 14-inch. It's the large one. And you can just put, I would love to have added to the pulled chicken some walnuts or pecans, some dates, some raisins, or just make a fruit roll up or wrap if that's the way that you want it to be. But you can do this just as easy as what I have done. Instead of paying the $40 or $50 for 25 people at some of the stores that will do this for you, this is all their employees is doing is exactly the same thing I've done for you, and I've shown you how to do it. And how do I know that's what they do? I worked in the deli. And working in the deli, we had the party trays, and a lot of times people will think that they're getting really something extraordinary, and they're not. They go over to the vegetable department. They get the vegetables that's going to be needed for that particular wrap. They go to the deli. They get the meat, whatever meat the people want to use or the veggies that they want to use, and they do this very same thing that I just showed you how to do. You cut the ends off and set it upright, or you can leave it laying down. And the reasons for leaving the ends so you can fold it in is because that's the part that's going to get cut off. So there's not any filling really in that section. This is the part you're going to cut off. You're going to cut off the end. So you want to make certain you fold it, then roll it, because that part is going to be thrown away or, cut off. And you can use whatever size length width that you want to use, however large you want it to be. And with them standing up, if you like sushi, it kind of looks like a sushi roll as well. And it's nothing just so overly creative that you cannot do it, because it can be done, and it can be done just as easy as that. Now I have this one here that is the vegan, which doesn't have any of the other doesn't have any of the meats or the dairy in it. And you can also get the gluten-free tortillas now. Gluten-free. You can get gluten-free everything. But the reason why I'm doing it this way is that this way I know that this over here, for my own self, I can put a toothpick, I can put an olive, I can actually, just so you will be able to know which is in case you're not standing there, you can decorate it any way that you want. So you'll know everyone that has a roasted tomato, sun-dried tomato on it is the ones that are for the special dietary. Now, if I was going to actually be serving this for a large party, I would have the completely separate. I would never combine. Even on the cutting board, I would never combine the products together. Those that are gluten-free, those that are susceptible to having other dietary problems. I really take that into consideration. And you have to also, because the last thing that you want is for someone to attend your function or your gathering and they get sick just because you don't feel it's that important. But then I put it back on the people that's in attendance. If you know you have a dietary issue, bring your own. There's a lot of church events that I attend, and the people have their own little bags or little containers, insulated containers, that they bring their own food. And then they either have their name or they have what type of food on a little card. So if somebody else might be a guest of somebody else who's a guest of somebody else, then if they have a dietary issue and can't eat certain things, they can look on that card and see this is vegan. Well, gosh, I never would have thought I would have been to an event and there's vegan food. I can really participate in that. So this has been Cookin' with Sugarlious, and this has just been appetizers. We have the vegan, we have the vegetarian, we have the chicken, we have the bologna, we have the sausage, so we have the fajita. So you can roll up anything that you would like to roll up. You can even put in fruit and cheese and nuts and roll it up, put it in the oven, till the cheese melts. And once the cheese has melted, that's all you're doing, because everything else is already finished cooking or already cooked, or doesn't really need to be cooked. What you're doing again is melting the cheese or warming up the ingredients. Now, like I said, there's a variety of the tortillas that you can get. The spinach tortilla, there's a roasted tomato tortilla, there's a jalapeno tortilla. So there's a lot, cheddar cheese, there's a lot that you can actually get, and just be creative. One thing that is really good now, it sounds a little bit different, but there's a macaroni and cheese that you actually just make your regular macaroni and cheese, and then you put in there applewood bacon until it's, crunchy, really crunchy, with a little bit of breadcrumbs. You roll it in the tortilla, and you do the same thing. Pop it in the oven, sprinkle a little bit of extra cheese on the top, put it in the oven. That macaroni and cheese wrap will win you every single time. And I just want to thank you for allowing me coming in and for following me on YouTube and GodTube, Facebook, Cookin' with Sugarlious. All the information is at the bottom of the screen. And this has been a delight. These appetizers are easy to make. They're wonderful. And go to YouTube, go to GodTube. If you have a question on any of the foods that was made today, then you can give me a call. 409-789-9631. Cookin' with Sugarlious. Until next time, be blessed.
So nutritious, delicious, cooking with sugar. Cooking with sugar.